Today I'm going to talk about white nights and also try to keep my glasses on without getting a massive reflection. Anyway, white nights. Now this, I'm expecting some blowback. I'm expecting people to either say, hey, I don't need that, I don't have that, or to say I'm a brat and unappreciative. I'm going to give it a shot. Anyway, white nights is somebody who tries to rush in and make everything better for you. Now, again, this is going to be bratty, okay? Bratty, deal with it. There are a lot of people who are like, I have nobody in my life except my spouse, except my best friend, except this person that I've known since high school. That sort of thing. This is going to be sad and pathetic, but this is the God's honest truth. I mean, I know I come across as like non-avoidant on these videos because I can talk. In my life, the people that I interact with are both my parents, who have been abusive all along and still are, and try to get over on me on a regular basis, and my son, who is autistic and is a handful, and actually he specifically asked me to make a video about what it's like to be a parent of an autistic child, and I don't know about that one. I did ask for recommendations. And I told him I was making this thing for 24 days in a row. He's like, do this. Anyway, and that's it. And then people who work either, for me, like my therapist, or my son, like his teachers. And that's it in my life. And then there are people I talk to online. That's not here. That's not anybody I could, in any way, shape, or form, actually really depend on. I mean, I had an internet outage of like 6 hours yesterday. I was like, oh. Not that I couldn't do anything, but still, it was just, I mean, there's this idea that I could maybe find somebody to talk to online if I had to. And there are these forums that I always talk about. Don't actually really post on them, but I could. And no internet, I'm like alone. And then when something big happens, which it does happen, and it has happened, then every once in a while you'll find a white knight. And what this is a person who thinks that they're going to suddenly do some one dumb thing that you've never thought of before, and oh my goodness, things are going to be great for you. Now, again, this is why I'm saying I sort of sound like a brat. But those interventions do not work, basically, for any avoidant person. Really, really don't work for me. And this is why. This is what happens when you have a white knight. Now, the idea, the fairy tale, is you've got a white knight who comes in, slays the dragon, and everybody lives happily ever after. In reality, what happens is a white knight comes in on his horse, tramps through everybody's fields, destroys all their crops, smashes through their courthouses and breaks everything apart and has a big huge battle at levels half the town, gets rid of the dragon, yes, but leaves in his wake, because of course the White Knight doesn't stick around. He's got to go find some other little town to save. Mass destruction, famine, and years worth of rebuilding. Got rid of the dragon. That was a humongous, massive, temporary, could possibly be completely deadly, but not necessarily, not guaranteed deadly event, and caused chaos that lasts for years. That's what it's like when you have avoidant personality disorder and you're seeking help, is that you can run into these people. The White Knights. Run from them. Now this includes when you have a new therapist who's just like bang, bang, bang. I had one, oh my God. I'll tell you the horror therapist story. I've had a lot of therapists, and they're White Knights, and that's the problem, is they think that, ooh, I'm going to be able to help you, and I'm going to be able to fix you, and this is going to be done in 6 months. No. I personally think the worst was, I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. That's one of the few times I was actually on like a real antidepressant, which of course didn't work. I took it, and then I forgot to take it, and I went through withdrawal, but as far as my feelings, absolutely no change whatsoever. And in thinking back, actually, they thought I might have even had postpartum psychosis, but looking back, I think it was exhaustion because I'm a single mother with an infant and working, out of the house full time and keeping my life together. Yeah, exhausted. Anyway, the therapist that they sent me to, the very first week, again, working full time with an infant on my own. My homework was to find a book called The Feel Good Handbook, which I actually still have, and which is kind of like, interesting. Another White Knight book. I mean, you're supposed to do this stuff, learn how to talk this certain way, and interact with people, and everything's supposed to be perfect. And you know what? A normal person, it would probably work. It would do things like, when you're having a discussion with somebody, mirror what they say back to you before you, say you're part of the conversation. Trying to do that with an abusive person, especially my mother, she flipped out. She could not stand that I had changed the way I was talking, and was I mocking her, and on and on. It just didn't work. But anyway, my homework, and I was like maybe 3 weeks postpartum. I had a C-section that was pretty rough. I also had pregnancy that was really rough, and a labor that was really rough. I was in labor for 4 days, 91 hours. Oh, that's a cat, if you can hear, I'm sorry. Anyway, and I was told to go get this book, which is about 500 pages long, and read it, and a second one, and that was my homework. And I was expected, the therapist seriously expected me to read this book, going back and forth to work with a baby. See, I had a really nasty pregnancy, and I had to go on bed rest ahead of time, so I had to start where I think it was 10 days. My son was 10 days old when I started working. In 3 weeks that I was back out of the house and in the office, and actually going back and forth to work. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I was back and forth to work as soon as my stitches were out. Well, they were staples, but anyway, it was rough. Another thing. So this is what happens is you run into these white knights who thinks they can fix everything for you, which of course is ludicrous. And it's a big problem. And then the secondary problem is this. This is my least favorite thing on the planet. You've heard it, I'm sure, over and over again. I'm getting long-winded. The point of these things was to learn how to shut up. Anyway, is then they turn into big blame the victim. Well, if you had just done what I told you to do, this would not be a problem for you anymore. You'd be fine. I've heard that over and over again, and that's what the white knight does. They come in and they destroy everything. Well, if you were a better gardener, then you could have replanted. It wouldn't matter that I tramped through all your fields. It's your fault. I mean, I did the work that needed to be done. I slayed that dragon for you. Or I scared him off, or I put a light on him so you could see where he was, or something. I did the work. Now you got to do the work. Does that sound familiar? So again, yeah, that's my advice, is to look out for these people, because it's incredibly attractive to an avoidant person to have somebody that might be so interested and might get them enough to be able to do something so monumental as to find a solution for you. A simple solution. I mean, this is what physicists have been looking for forever, the unified theory. That's what being a physicist is. Looking for the unified, the one thing that brings everything together. Maybe. But it's not going to be for quite some time before they figure out what that exactly is. It's not going to be simple. It's not going to be fast. It's not going to be easy. You know, I mean, this is among the reasons why so many, like all avoidant people, have gotten caught up with people that have borderline personality disorder, which, you know, they're like magnets to each other, because a avoidant person wants somebody who is so intensely into them, can come and save them. And I mean, I know you're really probably irritated by that idea, but really when it comes down to it, that's what it is. If you've got somebody who's going to be in your life, just like a normal friend, it feels like they're saving your life, because you need that. As a human, you need that, and you don't have it, and somebody's giving it to you. It's like throwing you a lifesaver. Yeah, swings that they throw you when you're in drowning. And then you get a borderline person who wants to be the center of attention and wants to have, you know, somebody that basically shores them up by giving them something that will define them. I am the friend of this person, therefore, you know, I exist. That's weird for an avoidant person to understand, but that is seriously what drives a borderline person, and that's why they get the way they get. So it's the same thing. You know, you've got to watch this in all your relationships. If it seems too good to be true, and I'm not saying don't turn everybody down, it's just balance and moderation, and take things slowly. And if you've got somebody that says, okay, we're going to do this, life is going to be grand. We're going to be doing this, it's going to be really hard, and then you're going to be better. If it's just one thing that they think that they're going to be able to do, I'm going to teach you CBT and you're going to be fine. No. And if you've got somebody who says, well, I showed you this and now it's up to you, that's complete crap. That is blame the victim. That is somebody that was trying to be a white knight and then couldn't believe that just their presence wasn't enough to make all of the difference in your life. So, watch out.